Our first presentation is when metadata isn't enough, extrinsic quality assessment of OSM using custom reference data by our presenter today, Dania Kasik. This study asks a seemingly simple but integral question. How much can we trust OSM tags in the city of Brno, Czech Republic? The study raises critical questions about how we measure and ensure quality and open crowd-generated data sets. So, without further ado, Daniel.
So my name is Kashi. I'm PhD student at the Department of Geography, Masaryk University in Czechia. And this is the result of my master thesis, where I focused on metadata from extrinsic view, because there's many intrinsic studies that explore metadata, data quality only from metadata, but often we need reference data sets to see more deeply into data itself. So, for example, complex assessment of text is not possible only with metadata. How this work started, we had lively discussion in local OpenStreetMap community in Brno, and I wanted to contribute a small piece into large puzzle of data quality studies and information about data quality in OpenStreetMap. So I had these main research questions. Basically, I wanted to know how are selected points of interest attributes filled in OpenStreetMap, if they are complete, if they are accurate. And also I wanted to explore correlation between well-mapped attributes and intrinsic data quality indicators. And for that I used ISO 19157. So I also wanted to know if this ISO is suitable for OpenStreetMap evaluation. Next slide, please. So as I said, I used extrinsic data quality methods. That means that I had to gather my own reference data set, because there's often no reference data set with that detailed attributes. The OpenStreetMap is perfect in that attributes are really, really detailed if we want to. We can map anything, but downside of that is there's no reference data set, government data set, city data set. We have plenty of open data sets from our government, but none of them can be used for this deep evaluation of OpenStreetMap. So I gathered my own reference data set. I did some data cleanup and pairing with OpenStreetMap in QGIS. I also did some simple correlation with feature metadata, like last time of edit, number of contributors, and so on, and with a population living nearby that given feature or cell of features. And then I also gave feedback to local community, basically to my friends, because we are one big family. Next slide, please. So where I did that study, in Czech Republic in Central Europe. Next slide, please. In second largest city in Czechia, Brno. And Brno is, from view of Manila, a really small city. In view of Czech Republic, one of the biggest. So 400,000 residents. And I took whole cadastral area, as you can see on the image, and I divided it to cells. We have 250 meters Eurostat cells, which are unified across whole European Union or whole Europe. And I chose 10% of cells covering, randomly, 10% of cells covering cadastral area. So the result was 366 cells. Next slide, please. In these cells, I wanted to explore points of interest, but I had to limit my points of interest as well, because there's a lot of keys, a lot of features, and I wanted to survive this data gathering, so I had to limit it. So I explored the most mapped main keys for POIS in Czechia. You can see that I chose amenity. You can see they are mapped around cities. Which had 299 values in Czechia. That means amenity and value 299 possible values, which of 140 only has own wiki documentation. So this is something we can also work on. Next slide, please. And here you can see which I chose. I skipped parking because they are mostly mapped on number of ways and relations, and I wanted to do simple data gathering, so I chose only that were mapped on nodes. And you can also see that these cells I chose are covering over 10% of each key in that sample, so it should be somewhat representative. We also assessed additional keys. It's okay, additional keys, but we will see that later. Next slide, please. To reference data set, for gathering, I used consumer level device, basically mobile phone with a mediocre MediaTek processor. I used check locus gib app, where you can gather points, took pictures, and so on. And for the gathering, I used state ortho imagery, and at the places where was, for example, vegetation or something, I used GNSS averaging. I collected basic attributes and always took a picture of that attribute. And this is the reason why I do not recommend to anyone to do this, because I traveled over 1,000 kilometers on foot on 22 on 22 square kilometers. So that's quite long route over that small area. So do not do this. Also, I gathered during the summer, and there was like 40 degrees Celsius heat, so that was also not good. Next slide, please. Then I exported that project from Locus to QGIS. There's pipeline to seamlessly to transfer it to QGIS. So I had always feature with attached photo. Next slide, please. Then I had to pair these features. I had quite big issue with topology. As you can see, green points are collected by me, and red ones are in the OpenStreetMap, in this case, benches. And you can see that a simple pairing based on distance was not enough, because we also need to consider topology of these features. So a lot of features I had to pair manually. If you have some better way how to do it, just catch me after this talk and please tell me, because this is also very painful. Here we can see feature completeness from 3,663 features gathered and processed. Only 34.94% was paired with OpenStreetMap. Everything else is missing in OpenStreetMap. Here are some tables. I will not read them because we have a little bit time. But as you can see, for example, street furniture is among of most omissed features in OpenStreetMap in case of Brno, but I think it will be a case of whole Czech Republic, maybe Europe. Next slide, please. And now attributes. I will start with these that had most samples. Sadly, these are with least attributes I assessed, because, for example, benches have only backrest and material in Czechia, usually mapped. But as you can see, they are mapped pretty accurately. There's issue with waste, because it's string value where you can basically put anything you want, and there are unclear rules on OpenStreetMap wiki how to map multiple wastes and so on. So that's the reason why half of them is not correct. But let's go to the next slide. There will be something more interesting. Czech Republic has a lot of recycling points like this. In fact, it's also one of the projects of our community to map all of them. And you can see attributes also, again, attributes of these recycling points. Mostly well mapped, accurately mapped, but a lot of attributes are missing. That's the gray bars. I think it's partially also issue with rules. They are applied to recycling, because in case the answer to some attribute or key is no, for example, recycling close no, it can stay empty, and it's automatically considered as no value. So there's one of the issues that I encountered when assessing attributes with ISO 19157 that you cannot differentiate between unmapped values and values that are considered as no. And I think we should have a discussion in OpenStreetMap community how to differentiate these, because I don't think this is like a good approach to data managing and so on. Next slide, please. Then restaurants, pub, fast food, cafe, I merge them into one layer into businesses because they have mostly same attributes, mostly accurately filled, but attributes that have string values, not predefined yes, no, so on, are mostly wrong in case of opening hours. I think in case of opening hours, it's because they are changing pretty quickly, and also some editors, contributors do not know how to write them correctly. Same with name. The most often mistake was that contributors included name or type of the business. For example, restaurant something, restaurant name. It should be only name. So that's the reason why name was wrong in 63 cases. You can explore these attributes later in presentation on the website. Next slide, please. Vending machine, nothing really interesting for this talk. Post boxes, there's one issue with OpenStreetMap best practice that we should map informations that are in terrain. But post boxes in Czechia are imported from Czech post database, where reference number of post box is correct, but Czech Post refuse to correct these numbers in terrain because they would have to travel to each post box and renumber them. So if we consider terrain values as the correct ones, then ref number is totally wrong. If we correct important, which are correct in nature, so then it would be 100% correct information. So there's also some like discrepancy with OSM rules and with reality, what is mapped and what's real. Next slide, please. Bicycle parking, I choose this because there's perfect example of folksonomy. Someone in Brno decided that if we want to map shape of the bollards that are holding bicycles, and he had a great idea to use shapes and not like string values, like circle or straight bollard. So this is really painful, especially because when you process data with Osmium and such tools, these are some string values that he will ignore, or basically a really big issue how to approach this. So, but nice example, and kudos to him because he had 100% accuracy. Just a nice example of folksonomy. Capacity, big problem. Oh, not that big problem, but problem because people do not read OpenStreetMap wiki and then map only half of the capacity because they think one bollard means one bike, but it can be parked from both sides. It's even mentioned on OpenStreetMap wiki, but no one's reads it apparently. Next slide, please. Then some basic confusion metrics, because you can take some establishment as another type of establishment. In Czechia, we often have some establishments that called, for example, pivní bar, which translates as beer bar, but in fact it's pub, but it's called bar. So I wanted to explore if people are marking this correctly to OpenStreetMap, tagging this correctly, and mostly yes, there were just like just few occurrences where it was tagged inappropriately. Next slide, please. Some positional accuracy, not that important because we gather data with consumer level device, so there will be also some imprecision from that device. But you can see that that database is mostly precise. I think 2 meters median error and average, let's say 2.5, 3 meters is quite good for volunteer database of geodata. Next slide, please. I also correlated this data, these attributes with metadata, like number of version dates since last edit, number of contributors, and if tags are matching and missing, but there's no, let's say, universal dependency. So, some attributes or some amenities were statistically significant. In some cases, it's some not. I think it's also because of small sample. You can see Postbox is only 28 numbers in that sample. So it would be nice to have like another study to explore this, because a lot of interesting studies are working with many ICE principle. That means that these should be all significant, statistically significant. So it should be explored. Next slide, please. Also, I did this with population. Also, no universal dependency. We can see only a few statistical significant values. Next slide, please. So, and ISO 19157. And there's no issue with applying this ISO to positional accuracy, confusion metrics, perfectly fine. The problem is when you want to apply it to folksonomy, especially non-quantitative attribute correctness. Problem is that you cannot differentiate level of detail of attributes. That ISO is used, let's say, for assessing data quality, fit for use data quality. So let's say this is good enough for me, so I consider it as correct information. But if I often discovered some attribute that was mapped as yes, I had it in my reference dataset as petio, or that coins are accepted as yes, and I had only in my reference dataset, and what should I do with it? So I count it as correct because it's correct information, but I cannot say it's correct, but it's not that detailed as it could be. So I think there should be some probably separate data quality for this type of information, for level of detail of attributes. And I would like to then hear some of your thoughts on this, because I'm not sure what to do or how to evaluate these attributes now. Next slide, please. It's not scalable. Your legs will hurt. Your brain will hurt. Your eyes will hurt. Don't do it. But it gave me some insights into data quality. It gave me some inspiration for next research. And some main points we can say: attribute accuracy is reasonably good. I think pretty good for volunteer database. There's issue with complex string values, for example, opening hours, and I'm not sure how to solve this. Because I'm not sure. Maybe some more information into editors like JOSM ID, streets complete, that he should that editor should explore OpenStreetMap wiki before inputting some data. I don't know, maybe. Incompleteness of attributes and features. It's however, incompleteness of attributes and features. It's much bigger issue than attributes itself, because as you saw, 34% of paired features. That's not that much. And I saw not suitable for comprehensive tag evaluation, but I was talking about it already. Next slide, please. And I think that's all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Daniel. So we do have some questions from venue list. So if you have more questions, you can send them here.
I would also like to thank Stefan Keller. I'm not sure if he is watching, but he sent me some insights before this conference to that presentation. So thank you for that.
Okay, maybe we can take some questions here first, and then I'll go through questions in venue list. Yes.
I have the question. So after you did all of this work, surveying and walking, did you then upload the final data to OSM or not?
I was thinking about that, but I decided to not to, because I didn't want to alter my, let's say, research with this data, because I knew that it would be let's say incomplete, and also how to say it. I want to publish this article, this data, but I didn't want to upload them to OpenStreetMap because the evaluation was done months after the data collection, and before that I didn't want to like upload them, and I don't want to upload like months old data and also something that was supposed to serve as a reference for OpenStreetMap. So I think it should not be uploaded to OpenStreetMap. I hope I made it clear.
All right. Let me ask the questions in Venuless. Okay, so the first question is, which factors do you think contribute to the mismatch of OSM data with your reference?
Mismatch. I'm not sure about mismatching. What's meant by that, because um, like pairing with my reference data set to OpenStreetMap, if there was some mismatching, or
What factors contributed to the mismatch? Why?
yeah. Uh, well, any different amenities were different approach to matching with OpenStreetMap. So I would say that benches were matched accurately because I saw them on ortho imagery. I saw topology and I matched them manually. So if I was maybe falling asleep or something, there may be some mismatching. But apart from that, it should be correct. And in case, for example, of businesses, there can be some mismatching because it was based on um, on nearest points and also on names. So there will be some inaccuracy, of course.
Okay. So one final question before we move on to the next presentation. So is it possible to assess the completeness for things which might be highly subjective, like cuisine, or difficult for many folks to add, like opening hours? Yeah.
Um, Opening hours probably yes. Cuisine and these type of things probably not, because as you said, it's highly subjective, or as someone in question said, it's highly subjective. And of course there will be some subjective color of myself in that evaluation, because as something I can consider, for example, as Czech cuisine and burger in one place, someone can consider only like burger and uh, regional or something like that. So yeah, there are definitely some attributes that is hard to evaluate.
Okay. Well, we still have time for one last. Yeah. Maybe we can ask.
Commentation perspective here, you've been choosing quite interesting amenities to look at, like benches and rails, but very nitty gritty, I would say. Did you also maybe separately analyze it with more, let's say, critical infrastructure, public facilities or something, and look if the quality, completeness would be different for those features? And if not,
Uh,
why not?
I did not, and partially because I would say the OpenStreetMap in Czech Republic, or let's say Central and West Europe, is not complete, but nearly complete in terms of these like government amenities, hospitals, and so on. And for example, a lot of furniture is missing, street furniture is missing. Also, in terms of roads, they are basically complete. In Czechia, we have government database which covers whole country with hospitals and roads, so we can easily compare them. But these are pretty well mapped, so that's the reason I why did not evaluate them.
All right. Thank you very much, Daniel. There are many more questions in Venuless, so you can check them out later. And then if you are in the room, if you ask these questions and it wasn't answered, please approach Daniel later. All right. Thank you.